I've already committed one sin. I didn't want to kill somebody on top of all of it. It was the future for me at that point was so uncertain. I know my parents, typical African parents, they abuse you with everything you do. I had made a mistake. I don't want you rubbing it in. Like, it's obvious. I'm not daft. No, I'm a work in progress. I can't say I am.
Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of Shattered Silence. Shattered Silence is a podcast where we uncover the untold stories of strength, resilience, and triumph. I'm your host, Linda, and today I'm joined by Joyce.
Hi, Linda.
How are you doing?
Thank you.
So Joyce is here with me today to share her experience in life. First off, I want to talk about how I got to see you, okay? Of course, I finished production for this podcast, okay? And I happened to see your Instagram post. I think it was one of the reels you did. I can't remember which. Okay, I remember now, like how you how you go out before your child and then when you want to go out with a child, it's something like that, right?
Yeah.
I was literally walking home from work that day when I saw, who is this person? She's so bold, right? And I was like, it's good to have her on the show, right? And I reached out to you, and here you are. And I'm meeting her for the first time today. It's too good to see you. I'm really, really glad to have you here.
It's good to see you too. I'm excited to be here.
I hope the journey wasn't so stressful.
It wasn't so stressful.
Because when you told me you were in Lagos last night, I was like, this girl is serious. Because I was really expecting you to tell me, oh, I'm on my way, I'm coming. But you already made it here.
I decided I wanted to be here. I actually wanted to be here.
Okay.
It was something exciting for me.
You have a child.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me the whole story? Like, how did you get to this point where your child is 2 years, I guess?
A year and some months. Like a year and 2 months.
And I don't want to talk about it. You told them your Instagram handle later. You guys need to go to our Instagram handle to see what she's about. Yeah, so can you tell us through the process? And was it a deliberate action? What really happened?
I would not say it was a deliberate action. I would say it was more of a careless action. So I met this guy. It was cool. We're hanging out, and it just happened. So, but when it happened, I had two options. It was either to keep it or not to keep it. I actually knew quite early, because it was not something that I knew late and then it was too late to get rid of it. No, I knew like a month in, so there was still every opportunity to get rid of it if I had wanted to. But something in me just was not going to do that. Like, I just felt it was all shades of wrong, and I didn't just want to, I've already committed one sin. I didn't want to kill somebody on top of all of it. So I knew it was going to be a tough journey. It was not like I had experienced it before, but it was the future for me at that point was so uncertain. And when I mean so uncertain was that even though I was working, I had started working as a social media marketer then, but it wasn't like I was grown. It wasn't like I was making a lot of money. I didn't make enough money to take care of myself. So, and at that point, it was one of the lowest points in my business, because at that point, I didn't have any clients. I was not working for anybody. So I was typically making 0 naira for like 4 months, and now I'm pregnant. So it was, the future was so bleak. It was so uncertain. And one thing I was just sure of is I didn't want to get rid of the baby. No matter how it's going to turn out, I wanted to have this baby. So after making the decision, it was tough at first. Sometimes I tried to ignore the whole situation. Maybe it would go away, but then it didn't go away. So at some point, I had to face reality. Like, okay, this is my reality now. And then how am I going to move forward from this point? So it was huge, because like I shared on my Instagram, it was huge to the extent that when I told my mom, she went, it was crazy. It was like a volcano that was waiting to just explode. It was crazy, because it wasn't really because, oh, I got pregnant, or it was because she was not just expecting it. It was hurtful to her. And besides, we just lost my dad at that point, maybe like a year ago. So it was kind of like really, really hurtful. And it brought out so many reactions that were hurtful. When people are hurt, they make decisions that hurt others too. So, but I stood my ground that I was going to keep the baby. And here we are. It was not easy. The journey was not easy. The pregnancy journey was not easy. Labor was, and even after, I think the bulk of the work is even after you've had the baby, because now your time is not your own. You have to consider somebody else whenever you want to make decisions. You're not making money for only you. You're making money for two people now. The financial burden and all of it. It's a whole lot, but we're taking it a day at a time.
So I don't know. So sorry about that. Okay, but the father of the baby.
Okay.
So when this whole thing happened, did you find solace? Was he comforting to you? You guys are still together, right?
Not really. Not really, because, well, he liked me. He wanted something that was going to, go probably into marriage. But because we were not of the same religion, so my family was against it at that point in time. So it didn't work. I come from a very strong Christian background. Okay. So it couldn't just work. There was no way it could. I can't just picture doing this life without my family, my close family.
Yeah,
so, and I don't think I want to jeopardize that relationship because of a man. So we decided to, it was when I told him that I was pregnant, it was very comforting. Okay. It was very comforting. It was very encouraging. And it was there throughout my pregnancy journey. It was really supportive. It supported me throughout. This was 2022. Yes, I gave birth July 2022.
I want to go back a little bit because I need to understand, in as much as this is a safe space, we also want to encourage people who are already in a situation to know how to navigate the process. Yes. We also want to tell, people who, if they can avoid such situation, why not avoid it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So based off of that, I want to say, so when you knew that your family do not like this person, why date the person?
Actually, the truth is, I wasn't dating him.
Okay.
Because I knew that there was no way, though he liked me, he was vocal about liking me. But I knew that my family was not going to accept him.
So why?
Because of religious differences. So it was more of like, let's just keep him here till we find someone better, you get. So it just happened. It was not like we were in a full-blown relationship at that point. We weren't. So when it happened,
you never experienced.
We never experienced.
Okay, so now let's go back to when this whole pregnancy thing happened. So you told me earlier that you were more vocal about it, about sharing your story. What exactly in your story do you want people to take away when you share your story?
The thing is, like I said earlier, I said, you see, when it comes to my life, I mean, my whole existence as a human being, like every chapter of my life is a story on its own, right from my childhood. Like if I say I should start sharing my story now, I don't think we are going to leave this place today because, because it's a whole lot.
Yeah. And
it has always been something I wanted to share.
Okay.
So when I got into this phase, I faced the reality of, there's going to be a lot of stigmatization.
Okay.
As a single mother, but I realized that whether they stigmatize or there's no stigmatization, it doesn't change the fact that I am actually a single mother. They are saying the truth. They're actually not lying. So why not? I mean, what is the point of hiding my baby? Because he didn't ask to be born. So there's no point of hiding my baby. And besides, it's a very important part of my life. And anybody that really wants to be with me, friends, family, they have to accept me with my kids. So I feel there's nothing to hide. I mean, there's really nothing to hide.
So at that point when you realized, was there any, I wish, had I known thoughts going through your mind?
There will always be.
Process
no. It was never a smooth. Even till now, it is still not a smooth process. I mean, there are some times that you just feel really stressed, really, tired, and you just feel, oh, if I had done things differently, I might not be in this position. But the most important thing is you are not dwelling on what has happened in the past. The most important thing is that you're looking for a way forward. You're looking for, the next thing I can do to make things right, or to make myself more comfortable and, be able to do this life without regret. I'll certainly think about it. Like, I wish I had done things differently, but I can't change it. I can't go back and change it. So the next thing is, how can I move? How can I move on?
So what do you dwell in currently? Because someone out there might be in the kind of position might be in this kind of situation, and they are constantly being reminded of their mistakes. Yeah. I don't want to call it mistakes, but like if they've done something differently, they're constantly being reminded that, oh, look at your life. So how would such a person currently now overcome it?
For me, when I got pregnant, that was one of the things that was really bothering me. What my parents would say, because I know my parents, typical African parents, they abuse you with everything you do, like everything you do. I remember back then when I wrote my post-JAMB, and I didn't meet up my cutoff mark. That 1 year in our house was hell. Like, if you smile too much, they will ask you why you're smiling.
I think it's something peculiar with most Nigerian parents.
Yes. So now, come to think of it, now you're pregnant. I mean, maybe they've been warning you for a long time. You, this girl, be careful, and now you turn up pregnant. Definitely, there was going to be a lot of, negative words that would fly around. In fact, there were a lot of negative words that flew around at that point. My mom was like, oh no, she's not my mom anymore. She doesn't want to have anything to do with me and all of that. Well, she came back on, and she's one of my biggest supporters today. But I'm talking about back then when it was all fresh. She was like, oh, I don't want to be even seen with you. A lot of, hurtful things. But there was a point that I had to like detach myself from my family, because they were all making me look like a failure. And pregnancy is like a really crazy journey, and you don't really need emotional stress. And so I didn't want to deal with, I know that I had made a mistake. I don't want you rubbing it in. Like, it's obvious, I'm not daft. Yeah. Like, it's not something I can forget. It's living with me. Like, I'll wake up every day and see it. Yeah. So you don't need to make me feel bad about it. So there was a point that I decided to just stay away from my family, including my mom. When I was pregnant, me and my mom, we didn't talk for about 5 months. We didn't call, we didn't talk. I didn't go to see her. She didn't ask of me. So I was just...
So who was giving you those pregnancy advices and tips? When the baby kicks this way, do it this way. Those advices, where were you getting from?
Well, when I got pregnant, one thing I did was I joined a lot of communities online, mother communities. So I was in on a lot of Instagram pages about mothering, then Telegram groups about mothering. Then I just I read books. Yeah. When I registered, they gave us some books to read about pregnancy.
You went for antenatal?
Yeah. Then at some point, my mom also, after she came around, that was like in the later part of, he started giving me some advices also. But mostly, almost everything I got for my pregnancy journey was mostly online. So
before we leave the pregnancy part, okay, let me still talk about, was there things that, did you feel shy being in some certain places? Because Because I asked you now, how were you able to take away, as in not lose your sanity when the whole things were thrown away? But you explained something, but I want you to actually, like, before I ask you the question I want to ask you, was there practical things you were doing? Because the whole idea of sharing your experience so that the next girl who might have actually have made the mistake to actually know what to do in a situation like this. So when people are, again, like, it seems like everybody wants to eat you, like they want to infest you.
Yeah.
So what is that thing that kept you sane in all the process?
I can't really say this is one thing that kept me sane, because I can't say I was sane throughout. At some point.
Was it your man?
No,
Was
no,
he the
no,
one?
no.
Was he your sucker?
I would just say that I had support systems. And when I say support systems, I have a really great nature of friends that they don't judge you. So I actually have few friends. I don't have plenty friends. So when I told my few friends that I had, they showed me support more than they chastised me, because I think they understand that at that point I already know that I was in it. So I didn't need to be judged anymore. I just needed to be shown support. So they were always checking up on me, you know, looking out for me. And then one thing that was very, very important that kept me sane was actually the church. So my church was such a wonderful place to be. There was nobody staring at you like you've done something really, you are a sinner and you don't want to be here. They were always, you know, encouraging me, calling to check up on me. In fact, monetary gifts, they were just, I mean, the church was a huge support.
But not everybody has this kind of support system.
Yeah, not everybody.
But there wasn't something you did personally.
Personally, one thing I did, I stayed away from negative energy.
Okay.
If I see that this person is going to, like, when I was pregnant, I didn't tell anybody. I only told my close people that are very close to me. So, and then I moved from where I was living to another location so that I would not have to explain.
Because your new location don't even know if you are married or not.
Yeah. So I moved, and you know, my work is mostly remote. So I work indoor. So most times I'm not even coming out of my room. I'm just like inside working. So it's just maybe in the evenings, because you have to walk around as a pregnant woman. I just go on a stroll and all of that. But one major thing I did was I really stayed away from negative energy. I really stayed away from negative energy.
Okay, so I can literally say, okay, staying away from negative energy, not telling a lot of people about your situation, and then moving away from the current environment to another thing are the things that you personally did. Because having a support system, it's not something one can do, one can decide. If you're lucky to have a support system, you have a support system. And if you're not, you just manage the ones you've said.
You manage the ones you have.
Okay, interesting. So I'm going to talk about, now, you have a baby. So are there things, you are still young, right? You still want to move on with your life, have a relationship, get married. You want to get married? You want to get married?
Of course.
Okay, so some people don't want to. That's what I'm asking.
I want to.
So what are the things that you would have loved to do? Are there things you would have loved to do that the baby, even though he's small, he's still young, like literally needs your attention? So are there things that you want to get? I know you've already put some skits out there on your social media, but I know that's for fun. But like in real time, retrospect, are there things that you want to do that the baby is not letting you do? Because normally, as maybe a couple, you might want to drop the baby with the father and get something in the market. You literally don't want to back the baby everywhere you go. Where's your baby now that you're here?
It's with my mom.
Okay. Your mom, you always drop off your baby with your mom when you want to.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
So are there things that you wish, like, how is your dating life currently?
It's not existing.
Oh, yeah. No, I can understand. It's still fresh, right? No. I understand. It's not existing. But when do you want to start?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
It's not in your dictionary.
It's not like it's not on my dictionary, but there's a lot there is a lot. Like, I don't think I have the time to explore, to actually, put myself in spaces that is going to expose me to dating people. So I'm almost always at home. So
Are you having PTSD from maybe having to explore when you shouldn't have explored and learning do you think that's what you're going through?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I really don't know, because for me, I really, though I don't really go out, but I like nightlife. Like, I really love nightlife. I like going out in the evenings, But since I had my baby, I don't know. I don't think I've.
Okay, but I so continue.
So that part of my life was put on hold, because now I cannot just leave my baby overnight and say I want to go to a party or go and enjoy myself with my friends. Although sometimes I carry him along, and sometimes if my mom is available, she takes him off my hands so that I can, rest, because it's a lot of work.
Do you need the rest?
Jesus. Oh my God. Like, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. And so, yes, I need the rest. I need the rest.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. If you do not have time for nightlife, what about regular life? Like having fun regularly?
The thing is,
you don't want
it's not like I don't want. The thing is, like I said, there's a lot of things to be done. Like, I can't leave my work and say I want to go and hang out. Like, money has to be money has to be made, well. And the bills are choking, so exactly. You cannot. Although I try sometimes. I have girlfriends that we decided to be intentional about going out, and we've tried 1 or 2 outings, so I can say we are improving.
So you know why I'm asking you this question? Because I want to know that when you meet a new person, the baby, is there a reason why some people are not serious? Because it's one thing to think you face stigma as a single mom,
and another thing to actually face it. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I've met a few people since then, and one thing I just noticed is some people we just claim that we don't stigmatize, but deep down they actually do.
And then their family too do. Even if they don't do, their family will still say no, we don't want.
Yes. So I think I've met like 2 people that the energy was like great at first. But from the moment that I told them that, I have a baby, because there was no point to hide the fact that I have a baby, the energy just dropped. So it was not like they told me, but I could literally
smell it.
I could literally smell it. Like, the energy just dropped. And that's why one of my unspoken rules is that if I'm talking to you and I sense that you kind of like have an interest in me rather, before it goes deep, I'm going to let you know that I have a child. So to save myself from hurt and also save you from hurt, because if it has gone deep and you decide that, you don't want to be with me, I would feel really hurt. So it's just better that at the talking stage, you just let you know that, I have a baby, so that if you decide at that point, it wouldn't be so hard to close the chapter and move on.
Okay, so before I let you go, okay, you say you have people who you talk to.
Yes.
So what are those messages you tell them? When it comes to in what kind of situation? Are they single moms as well, or they are young girls?
Actually, when it comes to my friends,
I mean, people you currently advise, not like
that I advise. Yeah, they're like people in my situation, or they have been in it before, like single mothers or people that are currently pregnant and on their way to become mothers also. Yeah.
So if you are to advise or give a word or two to young girls, what are those things you're going to say? I don't want to talk about your younger self. Let's talk about people, young girls generally. What are those things? Because you're actually quite young.
Yes, I am.
So what in your young life, what are those experience has taught you that you be like,
Experience has taught me a lot of things, but one thing that experience has taught me is that, like Yoruba people would say, what you will not eat, don't smell it.
Word.
So if you know that this person, you don't think you are going to want to end up with them, don't just start anything, because it's going to be hard to detach yourself when the time comes. Don't use people as trying to fix them in a position until something better comes along. It's not fair to the person, actually, and anything can happen. You can think, oh, it's going to turn out this way, and it turns out the other way that you don't expect. Yeah. And another thing is, God, just don't leave God in every situation. Like in anything, God should come first. Always.
Okay, then I'm asking. Okay, so what about your younger self? Because what you answer is like you're talking to your younger self, because this is like what happened to you. That you're like,
when it comes to my younger self, oh, there is a lot. There is a lot I could tell my younger self. A lot. Like, there is a lot. I don't even know where to
start anywhere.
Okay. First and foremost, what I'll tell my younger self is like, learn to say no. Because no is not going to kill you. And don't try to like please everybody. Because pleasing everybody, not everybody can. Even if you try, no matter how much you try to please everybody, not everybody will still end up liking you. So why not just be yourself? Stand on your words. If you know that this is who you want to be, don't let anybody convince you to, change what you've decided for yourself or for your life. Because at the end of the day, it's you against the world. It is you against the world. And, well, again, put God first.
Did you try to please other people in recent your situation?
Well, I'll say when I was younger, not like I would say I tried to please other people, but I was very timid. So I didn't want to offend people. I'll put it that way. So I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want people to see me.
You didn't want to offend men? Do you want to be specific?
No, I said people in general.
People in general. Okay,
yeah. Right. So I didn't want to offend people, and so when I see myself in situations that I was supposed to be firm about my decisions, I tend to like, let's just do it, And at the end of the day, I realized that people are actually not worth it. They are not worth it. Because they won't say they are the ones that ask you to change your decision.
Surprised they didn't coerce you, they didn't force you.
Yeah. It's all on you. No matter what you do, it's all on you. They won't say they are the ones that advise you. They would blame you for that action without taking responsibility for pushing you into the actions.
At the end of the day, surprised you are an adult. Yeah, you two have to be responsible for your actions.
Yeah, of course, yes. But that's why I said you have to be firm about what you want to be.
You are firmer now, right?
Yes, definitely.
Are there deliberate actions you did to stand firm in your...
Yes. One thing is I started removing myself from situations I know that I don't want to be in. That I know that can like expose me to do things that I don't want to do. So I remove myself from that environment. So now I don't even have cause for you to come and start convincing me, because I'm not even there. So there's nothing to convince. I think that's like the major thing I actually did. I removed myself from all the situations. I'm a work in progress. I can't say I am there because I'm not even halfway there. But every day I try hard to be like a better version of who I was yesterday.
Okay, thank you so much. I think this is it. Like, this advice she gave is it for you listening out there that don't predispose yourself, because so people are good with talking.
Yes,
they can literally market anything to you.
Yes,
including their own selfish interests.
Of course,
and you won't even know when you are swayed and before you know what's going on.
Exactly, and I'm talking about not only men and women alike.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Joyce, for coming.
You're welcome.
So let me talk about your work now. So you're done with school currently?
No. I like to think like that I'm done.
You like
but
to think? Stop thinking. Are you done? Are you not done?
But technically, I just resumed back.
Okay, you just resumed.
Yeah, to finish my finals.
Okay. But you're still into social media?
Yeah, I'm actively still. Well, it's a lot easier now because now I'm not breastfeeding again, so I can leave my baby with my mom for a couple of days.
And
yeah.
content.
So
what are your strengths? Content creation or what?
Yeah,
exactly?
I think content creation is content writing. Content creation is where I'm like really good at. Then lead generation.
Lead generation. So.
Yeah, I'm good at lead generation. So,
what kind of a products are you good at generating leads for?
I've worked with like fashion brands before. Then I've worked with healthcare brand, and I would say fashion and healthcare because those were like the two major niches I actually generated leads for. The others I was just like managing the account.
Were the leads healthy leads? Were they converting?
Yeah, definitely. It was healthy leads.
If you're into fashion brands or healthcare, this is your go-to plug.
Yeah.
This is your go-to plug. Her baby is grown now, so she can do your work for you. You get me?
Yes. So
thank you so much, Joyce, for coming on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, pleasure. I'm just seeing you for the first time. We've had interactions online, and I don't know. Maybe I'll cut this out. But how did you like get convinced to actually come? Like, did you check me out? What exactly did you do?
Obviously, I would. I like, who wouldn't? I know it's insecurity in Nigeria these days.
Yeah, because all the way from Ibadan.
Yeah, so I first checked your Instagram.
Thank you so much for being on Shattered Silence.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to go and subscribe. If you've not seen any of our other episodes, make sure you go see the other episodes. There are a lot of episodes out there, and there are a lot of things you can learn. Okay, all right. From Joyce and I, it is bye.